Open the door, Peridot. If this cluster is putting us in danger, you need to tell us what it is so we can stop it.
I think this episode is the following day from the last one. I have no basis for that, it's just vibes.
No, I hate you. I'm not telling you anything about the cluster.
Take note of how Peridot interacts with Garnet now. It'll be important for a later episode where they do a little bit of bonding. Yeah, we do a little bonding in this show.
Is it like a big hunk of granola?
What's granola?
Hey, we're the ones asking the questions here. But for real, one purpose this episode serves is to show how Peridot is really from another world, with almost no knowledge of Earth. This line kinda sets that up. You gotta love when a joke line is secretly a vehicle for teaching the viewer about a character. Check out these candles in this window. You're all gonna call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure these candles actually get lit in a later episode. I also thought they got used during the blackout in Political Power, but no, that was just the fireplace. Very important plot-relevant details here.
Why don't you just give me back my leg enhancements and my arm attachments with my screen and my log and all my information? Oh wait, you destroyed them!
I guess they're gone for good. Maybe they don't do well in salt water. I guess that makes sense, it's just a shame.
Okay, Peridot, you can turn around now.
Steven has a lot more common decency nowadays. Remember back in Frybo when he was buck naked in front of everyone? Yeah. I'm just surprised Peridot has enough respect to stay turned around the whole time he's on the can.
I'll never crack for the likes of you crystal clods!
Damn, there was some wind-up for that one. She took a deep breath and everything.
If she's not going to be of any help, let's investigate this thing on our own.
I'll come with you.
Sorry, Steven. We're going to need you to stay here and keep an eye on our guest.
Certainly a future vision moment. She could see that if they left Peridot alone with Steven long enough, he would get her to crack.
I'm not harmless!
Oh, hush up!
Typical Cartoon Network censoring the phrase shut up for no reason. I always miss the old Cartoon Network.
That's because he doesn't have a chin, Einstein. Shut up! You shut up!
Oh, Steven, there's one more thing I have to mention.
What is it?
I love you. Bye.
This is one of the contenders for the best Garnet moments of the whole show. I gotta collect all of those and put them in some sort of tiered list of how good they are. Something that bothers me about this episode is how desaturated all of the colors are, because all the scenes take place during a storm or in the kindergarten. That normally doesn't bother me when I'm just watching the episode, but since I'm making a video, the video editing part of my brain thinks the color settings are wrong in Blender. Time for all the new viewers to come in and say, "Whoa, you edit these videos in Blender?"
They left, you know. You can come out now.
No, I like it in here.
That's what we call Stockholm Syndrome. Actually, I think that has more to do with the captors and less to do with the prison.
It's happening!
They do a good job of making Peridot cute and endearing, like a scared puppy during a thunderstorm or fireworks. I get why so many people get whiplash after her being a genuine threat for a whole season.
It happens when it rains. You don't know about rain?
I don't know anything without my screen.
I gotta be a dick about this. Peridot has been on Earth for a couple months. Maybe she hasn't encountered a thunderstorm, but she had to have encountered rain. Stool check? All three of them are here, but through the window there's some sort of spooky ghost stool. Weird.
And when the clouds get really heavy, it rains.
So scalding liquid pours down from the sky?
Wrong on both counts. It's never scalding and it's not always liquid.
No, it's just water. It can't hurt you.
Wrong again, show. I've seen hailstones the size of baseballs. Those will absolutely wreck you.
This is just something that happens on Earth. Isn't it cool? Whoa!
This is one of my favorite moments in the entire show, and partly what makes Peridot's character development so compelling to me. Peridot's an alien from another world, experiencing something that we Earthlings take for granted. I'm always a sucker for these moments, of characters from other worlds learning how things from our world work. That's why I love Project Hail Mary so much. That's like the entirety of that book. However, there is something buried in my brain that characters who are green should either be absorbing the rain through a set of roots, or melting in the rain like the Wicked Witch. I can't delete that from my system. Pearl should have never bought that gas station weed.
I decided to share some information with you.
I know you used my toothbrush.
Okay, maybe Steven doesn't have that much common decency. How gross is this realistically, though? Like, do gems carry diseases? Apparently they can get food poisoning, so they have to be at least affected by bacteria in some way. Could Peridot have been carrying a sickness that Steven could have caught? I still think probably not, so it's fine. Weird, but fine.
But it's about the cluster.
You cracked.
I haven't cracked!
In the context of this show, a gem cracking can mean two very different things. I know it's not meant literally in this scene, but I can't help myself.
My arm attachments, my fingers, my screen, my log. It's all gone.
Peridot's voice is not my favorite in the whole show, but it is damn good. Her voice actress definitely has the character down, like right away. I say that like she's a new character, even though she's been around for over a season. This is a new side of her, for sure. That's kind of why she feels new.
But all of my logs up to date 652 still exist. Backed up in Facet 5 of the Prime Kindergarten!
Oh yeah, Gem Society has a different way of recording dates. I wonder what it's based on, what their calendar looks like, and what each of the numbers mean. Has anyone deciphered that yet? If not, that's one of those things that I hope they touch on in Lars of the Stars. Also, hold up, Prime Kindergarten? Prime implying more than one? Indeed, we'll get there eventually.
You're gonna have to hold my hand the whole time.
Ew, what was that? It's a tiny gem monster. Kill it.
Well, here we are.
Okay, great. Let's go.
Peridot should have been more careful about this 30-foot drop. I guess she would have landed on her feet normally if she had her limb enhancers.
My dad's from Earth, but my mom's a gem.
You're some sort of hybrid? How is that possible?
The answer to that is a story I like to call The Ballad of Rose and Greg.
I don't care.
Alright, dude, you asked. Yeesh. I always thought Peridot, of all people, should have been way more interested in this. I'm gonna walk something back I said last episode. Peridot is sometimes a triangle, but only during profile shots.
When it became clear that the Earth was no longer a viable colony, Homeworld decided to use it for something else.
Here's a tiny bit of the show misleading the viewer again. The obvious assumption is that Homeworld fucked off after the rebellion because it got out of control and they ended up losing the war. That's partly true, but it's omitting something major. That's one of those things I'm gonna wait to talk about when I get there.
This is where you need to be, right?
Yes, I'm going to have to remove this panel and do a bit of work to restore power to this room, so...
What panel? Oh, that's pretty slick.
Mind if I try?
Go ahead, knock yourself out. Whoa!
You think this reaction is warranted? Maybe if Peridot is supposed to be a stand-in for the audience, sure, but she was on the ship with Jasper. This isn't a feat of strength she should be saying, whoa, over.
These are the early attempts at artificial fusion.
That's a lot of gem shards.
We were growing them here at this very site.
Oh, I should mention, this is the third and final time we visit this control room lab. This place was some sort of central experiment zone for all the fusion monsters, with Peridot needing to come and check on their progress. Back in Season 1, the idea was that this is a control room for all of the injectors in the kindergarten, but now Peridot spills all the beans. That also means there's no reason to come back here again. Everything about this place has been explored already. I think we should have seen a lot more fusion monsters throughout the show, with this many of them on display. I didn't mention it in Nightmare Hospital, but if 2 of them managed to get captured and taken to the hospital, I wonder how many more managed to squeak their way into human cities.
A singular giant artificial fusion, comprised of millions of gem shards. The cluster.
The cluster, around the time the show was premiering, was a magnet for hype and speculation. How I wish I could recapture those days, because knowing what it actually was and its fate is kind of disappointing on rewatches. I don't know, I just can't get excited about it anymore. There was a lot of speculation about the cluster before this time, too. Before this scene, some people thought it was that giant hand fusion monster. And even after, some people thought it was the geode, as if it had already appeared in the show before.
But when it emerges and takes its physical form, it will destroy the planet. The prototypes are already emerging. The cluster is next.
I'll make another point about this being the show's ticking clock. The next 10 or so episodes are some of my favorites in the show, but none of them convey any sense of urgency about this. Pacing is something that this show struggles with, big time. There aren't a lot of reminders that the cluster is this imminent world-ending threat until the very moment they actually do something about it. This arc, all things considered, is actually pretty well paced if you consider that it's not an arc about the cluster, but an arc about Peridot. For something like a redemption story, you need much slower pacing than you'd need for an end-of-the-world scenario. That's why so many movies have stories about saving the world. They're like the perfect length for that.
Now that you're filled in, we can get to work.
How am I supposed to help?
Yeah, she's in over her head. I bet she's used to a whole-ass empire backing her on these missions, giving her ships and robots and weapons. Steven's got a house, a lion sometimes.
Besides, the only reason I know anything about clouds and rain is because my dad told me.
I don't know if Steven ever got proper homeschooling. It's nothing the show ever covers. He seems knowledgeable enough. He can read, write, knows some basic science like the water cycle. I don't know how good his math skills are, but I think most of this would have had to come from some form of schooling.
I used to be really scared of thunderstorms, just like you.
The fuck you say to me?
If it looks really bad, then we can just ask this dad for help.
God, that would have been hilarious if this was the route she took. Greg could 100% talk the cluster down. That old universe charm and all that. This is actually the last time we see any of the fusion monsters until they deal with the cluster. And even after that, they get sidelined just like regular gem monsters. Again, I always thought they could have had more of these, and more gem monsters.
Let's run into this corner! Oh no! We're cornered!
This joke is so stupid, I love it. Best joke in the episode.
Ah! Can't you destroy it? No! This is all I can do on my own!
This is the moment Peridot realizes that not only is the cluster going to destroy the Earth, but nobody's going to be able to control it when it does. If these fusion monsters are anything to go by, the cluster is going to be a giant, mindless destroying machine, with no allegiance to anything or anyone. Garnet's using her electricity powers again. This is a weird move though, it looks like something a Pokemon would do.
Peridot, what are you two doing here?
What are you guys doing here? Future Vision saw them in danger, I guess? Or they're out hunting fusion monsters and they just happen to save Steven and Peridot? Good timing, by the way.
I've made up my mind. I have something to tell you about the cluster.
Oh, it's one of those episodes where it just hard cuts to black. That's significant because this episode is just one part of a much bigger story. A lot like last episode, this was a lot of setup. Last episode was setting up Peridot herself, and this one is setting up the cluster as a threat. Both of these episodes kind of go together, and even then, they're not a full story. They don't have an ending. This episode has one of my favorite moments in the whole show, but otherwise it's kind of forgettable. Like I said, it's a lot of exposition. There's a 30-second action scene at the end, and that's about it. I love it for that one moment with Peridot in the rain, but other than that, it doesn't really stand on its own. It's an important piece of this arc, though. But if you want to see new videos from me a week before they premiere on YouTube, you can subscribe to my Patreon for just a couple bucks. The link is in the description. Biggest shoutouts to my Grandmaster patron Scala LD, Grandmaster of Volume. They can estimate the size of any container with like a 2% margin of error. And shoutouts to my master patron Geeky Game Guru, master of stopping the gas pump on an exact multiple of $10 every time. And shoutouts to my journeyman patrons, Bippy121, Bob the Turtle 352, Boomblorp, Bright Galaxy, Cool Waffle, Dr. Moon, Fox Certified, GPW, Glingle123, Horsey Jumper, Lazarus, Let's Run Into This Corner, Oh No We're Cornered, Loga, Marsh, Max Buchek, Murkywater6, Nathan Drake, Netabag, Roberty, Sam Bishop, Silly Alien Lady, The Cloaked Goat, The One True Fusion, Tricky Van Ricky, Wingo Dingo, Yotawo. You're telling me Peridot, who helped massively in making the drill, didn't know what rain was? And ZT the Fish Guy. Next episode is Back to the Barn. That's like the name of the episode, but we're also going back to the barn.